There are monsters in horror games, and then there is Nemesis, a towering bioweapon engineered for one terrifying purpose: hunting. Throughout Resident Evil 3, Nemesis relentlessly pursues Jill Valentine across the collapsing ruins of Raccoon City. Bullets barely slow him down. Explosions don't stop him. Even when his body is destroyed, he keeps coming back. But why? Why was Nemesis specifically hunting Jill? Why did Umbrella send one of its deadliest bioweapons after her during the middle of a citywide outbreak? And what made Jill Valentine so dangerous to Umbrella Corporation in the first place? Now we are diving deep into the terrifying truth behind Nemesis's mission in Resident Evil 3, and why Jill became the target of Umbrella's most relentless monster. Hey guys, hope you're doing great. Welcome back to the Horror and Beyond show. Before the nightmare even begins, Jill Valentine's already trapped in fear. At the start of Resident Evil 3 Remake, Jill is exhausted, paranoid, unable to sleep. She suffers from constant nightmares and trauma connected to Umbrella Corporation. And the game makes something very clear almost immediately. Jill knows too much. Inside her apartment, we see evidence boards, documents, and investigations connected to Umbrella. She's trying to uncover the truth behind the corporation's experiments and the horrors connected to Raccoon City. That's what makes Jill dangerous. Not because she's a random survivor, but she's someone who survived long enough to expose Umbrella's experiments and bioweapons. And Umbrella knows it. That's why once the outbreak spirals out of control, Nemesis appears. Nemesis is not a normal creature. He isn't a random mutation wandering through the city like the zombies. He is a weapon, a bioorganic hunter created by Umbrella Corporation. And throughout Resident Evil 3 Remake, the game strongly implies that Nemesis was deployed against surviving members of STARS. That's why one word becomes so iconic throughout the game: STARS. Every time Nemesis says it, the meaning becomes more disturbing. This creature isn't attacking randomly. He's searching for specific targets, and Jill Valentine becomes the main person we see him pursue throughout the story. That's what makes Nemesis feel different from ordinary monsters. There is intent behind everything he does. Every appearance feels deliberate. Every attack feels personal, almost like Umbrella itself is hunting Jill through the streets of Raccoon City. As the outbreak grows worse, Nemesis becomes more aggressive. No matter where Jill goes, he follows. He crashes through walls, uses heavy weapons, destroys entire environments trying to reach her. And the terrifying part is that Nemesis never seems tired, never distracted, never satisfied until Jill's dead. That persistence is what makes him so horrifying. Jill isn't just surviving a zombie outbreak. She's being hunted by a weapon specifically designed to eliminate targets. And throughout the remake, the conflict becomes deeply personal. The more Jill survives, the more relentless Nemesis becomes. Every encounter escalates. A rocket launcher, a flamethrower, mutations, massive transformations. It feels like Umbrella's monster is evolving purely to make sure Jill never escapes alive. at the center of everything is one simple truth. Umbrella fears exposure. Raccoon City is collapsing. Thousands are dying. The infections spreading everywhere. And yet, Umbrella still prioritizes protecting itself. That's what makes the story so dark. Instead of helping people, Umbrella unleashes even more horror. Nemesis represents that perfectly. He's not there to save people. He exists to erase problems. And Jill Valentine's one of those problems. Because Jill survived. Because she knows the truth. And because she refuses to stop fighting. One of the reasons Nemesis became so iconic is because he creates constant pressure. Even when he disappears, you know he'll come back. And every return feels worse than before. He becomes larger, more violent, more unstable, but somehow even harder to stop. By the later parts of the game, Nemesis barely resembles anything human anymore. He transforms into this monstrous mass of hatred and mutation that exists only to destroy. And yet, despite everything, Jill keeps fighting. That's what gives Resident Evil 3 Remake its emotional core. Not just the horror, but Jill's refusal to give up, even while being hunted by something seemingly unstoppable. By the final act of the game, the conflict between Jill and Nemesis feels almost symbolic. Jill represents survival, humanity, resistance, while Nemesis represents Umbrella's obsession with power and control. A monster created to silence anyone who threatens the corporation. And despite everything Nemesis throws at her, Jill survives. Not because she's stronger physically, but because she refuses to break. That's why their rivalry became legendary. Nemesis may be one of the most powerful monsters Umbrella ever created, but Jill Valentine refuses to become another victim. In the end, Nemesis hunted Jill because Umbrella viewed surviving STARS members as dangerous loose ends. But throughout Resident Evil 3 Remake, Jill becomes the central target of that hunt. And what makes the story memorable isn't only Nemesis himself. It's the fact that Jill never stops fighting back, even while an unstoppable bioweapon hunts her across an entire dying city. So, what do you think? Was Nemesis the most terrifying creature in Resident Evil history? And if you were trapped in Raccoon City, would you survive the hunt? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this Resident Evil deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me here on the Horror and Beyond show, where horror never truly dies. Until next time, have a good one.